stretch near 12th Avenue. Look for the right lane to be shut down. Traffic is jammed and crammed coming in from Penn Avenue. Westbound 494, some slowdowns between Pilot Knob Road and Highway 5. West 94 slows into Minneapolis past Highway 280. Terry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Jordana Green here. I pray you and your family are always safe. But if there's ever a time where you need an advocate after an accident, let Mike Bryant of Bradshaw and Bryant help you. He will work with and for you in dealing with the insurance company. Call 800-770-7008 today. Bradshaw and Bryant, seeking justice for the injured.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Brought to you by Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury attorneys seeking justice for the injured. You can find them at minnesotapersonalinjury.com. Here's WCCO TV Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
A quiet night tonight with a partly cloudy sky. Will cool back to about 60. Now, another wave of smoky air will pass over us briefly. That should clear as the day progresses tomorrow. Back to the sunshine with a high of 82. Showers are possible on Thursday. It does get humid, hot and humid for our Friday.
Mostly sunny, 81 at News Talk 830 WCCO.
We cover the headlines, break down the hot takes, and let you have a voice. News Talk 830 WCCO. You're thinking about it. Jason's talking about it. There are no breaks on bold takes here. Buckle up. This is Drive Time with DeRUSH. Now, live from Minnesota's biggest microphone, here's Jason DeRUSH.
All right, Dan, I just got an email, and
you're very upset about this.
I have to react to this, and
Okay.
I need to know what people think, and I need to know if I'm a bad person. But I do not want to donate to your class list. If you're a teacher and you're putting out the list right now as you're getting your classroom ready, starting to think about whatever, I don't want to go to your Amazon list and buy you stuff.
So what you're saying is now that your children are out of high school and headed off to college, screw anybody at that age that needs some stuff.
No, I think that we should figure out as a community, as a society, to pay to put the crap in the classrooms already.
But isn't that what they're trying to do?
No, we should not be making your school supplies, your classroom setup, a GoFundMe. We have lost our mind with begging and crowdfunding and GoFunding our way to everything. It allows the budget creators, it allows the taxpayers, it allows everyone to avoid responsibility for either screwing the teachers or having the classrooms undersupplied or underfunded. I don't blame an individual teacher for trying to solve their problem because I get it. Like, you don't want to buy the stuff. But, like, stop begging the community and your friends and your randos to fill your school with the stuff you need to run a school. I don't want to do it. 651-461-9226. Just a Twitter direct message just sent me off to start the show. But I've had enough of it. So much. And technology has made this so it's easier to ask for help. And again, I'm not mad at any individual teacher for doing what it takes to try to get things done. But I'm mad at parents for not stepping up and supplying their own stuff for the classroom. I'm mad at school districts for spending too much money on administrative oversight or regulations or requirements and not putting that money into the stuff. But I don't want to do it. Let's have a conversation about what you need instead of every August it's holding out the hat. Let's go to Steve in Wayzata. Steve, I'm nervous to even say it because I don't want to be like I'm anti-teacher or I'm anti-school, but I'm just sick of the begging all the time.
Here, I'm on your side.
Whew.
because
I got one
Could you-
before the rest of everybody comes for me, Steve.
can you imagine if you sent a whole load of Trump pencils to school?
Oh, wow. I think
Trump 45, 45, 47. Could you imagine that poked the bear so hard?
It depends where the school is. It depends where the school. There might be some where it would be a hit.
No. My wife's a teacher. I'll tell you one thing. If the teacher saw it, they'd be burning them.
It is. The teacher issue and the school issue is what just set me off, because I just got a request, and it's not the first one I've gotten. But I do think there's this cultural thing where because you have GoFundMe's or you have whatever all of these other websites are, you have this sort of, it's so easy. It's almost expected. Like, well, are you going to ask people to help you out? Like, no. Stop asking. Stop asking. Thanks, Steve. 651-461-9226. Mike is up next. Mike, am I a bad person for saying I don't want to go to your Amazon wish list?
Not at all. I feel exactly the same way. My daughter is a fifth grade school teacher in St. Paul, and this morning she sent me her wish list, and she wants me to talk to my friends, and I'm like, no. If the school doesn't provide it and the parents don't provide it, I don't expect her to spend $800 of her own cash to buy the products that the kids need it.
Right.
I don't want to do it either. I don't want to do it. I think you're spot on.
Now, I will give. Now, for example, Mike, my sister-in-law asked if I would donate to the kids' school parent-teacher organization. And I am going to donate to that. It's for my nephew's school. My sister-in-law is on the board. Like, I'm happy to help. I just don't want, like, I'm not going to retweet your Amazon list for your school. I feel for you as the teacher, because it does stink when you think you need certain supplies or you're trying to help kids who maybe don't have a this or that. But to me, it's a systemic failure at that point. And how are we spending our money on the wrong stuff? Maybe we should be spending more money on making sure they've got the supplies they need to get through the day. I'm out.
Let's get rid of one administrator and supply the whole school.
Yes. Great. I'm down. Thanks, Mike. Jessica is in Rosemount. Jessica, this was not how I meant to start the show today, but I was just absolutely triggered by about the fifth request I've been getting from people I don't know to do their Amazon wish list.
Yeah, I don't, I'm a teacher. I'm a middle school teacher in the South Metro, and I understand that, but I'm wondering then what is the societal solution?
Yeah.
What is, as a middle school teacher, I've been teaching for 25 years. I spend well over $1,000 a year on my classroom. The parents aren't stepping up. They aren't giving us the supplies. The administrators have taken away all of our school supply budget lists. I don't even get a stapler. I don't get a pack of pens for myself to correct papers. We have zero budget for our classrooms.
Yeah.
And I'm not in an impoverished district.
Right.
I'm in a really big district.
Yes.
We can't get rid of administrators because of behavior and discipline issues that are
that's true.
Beyond understanding. And so while I do make an Amazon wish list, but it only goes to my immediate family, and it is very, very minimal. It's really small. It's for essentials.
Right.
It is a systemic problem. But I think that when you think about why are people reaching out this way that seems so desperate? Because there is a desperate need.
What do you think, Jessica, when you look at it? Because you're, and my sister's a middle school teacher also.
Yeah.
And I would just say, like, middle school was probably not my best phase of life. So God bless you. Like, it's a challenging age group.
Absolutely.
But when you like touch one of those kids and kind of help them, I think there's probably no more pivotal time in life. So I'm just very grateful for what you do. When you look at this and say, like, all right, there used to be a little more budget for supplies, or maybe did we need what changed? Why is it Is it that parents aren't sending their kids with enough stuff? Is it that school districts are budgeting money in other ways? Is it like more technology, less of the regular supplies? What do you think has happened?
I think it's all of those things. And while, yes, I unfortunately do have a lot of families that they just feel like it's just kind of our job to take care of everything.
Yeah.
Not only are we feeding them, we're providing now every material, we provide the technology that is not taken care of by an abundance of students and families.
Right.
That is the technology is provided. And I'm sure there are some budgeting things that could change as well, but it's a lot of things. It's many things. It's not just one thing, but as an individual teacher who cannot go, to an administrator and say, hey, I need notebooks.
Right.
Our families give what they can, and then we're out. And kids they still need pencils to write. We still need notebooks. We still, when I ask for parents to replenish at the end of every trimester, I don't get emails answered back, and the supplies just don't show up. It's kind of like, well, you guys deal with it. You deal with them all day long. We need you to just take care of it.
Jessica,
and that is hard to say, but I'm being truthful.
No, I like to hear it. It's really helpful to understand that, because to me, as someone who we only had 2 kids, we had 2 incomes, we were good to go to help out. And so we would help out when when teachers would ask for that sort of stuff. It's a no-brainer. And we also, our kids were sent. It's understandable, I think, if you have people who are in need. If you have people who just think they're so entitled that when you send your kid off to school, not only is school now the teacher, the psychologist, the behavior counselor, everything that we ask our schools to do now. It's pretty disappointing that entitlement would extend to the teacher can figure it out.
Well, I'll tell you what, there always seems to be enough money for the club sports, but when you ask for school supplies from families, I don't know, but we are not getting the support that we need from our families.
Jessica, thank you.
And I'm more than happy to help the kiddo who has nothing.
Oh, of course. Right. But you shouldn't be helping my kid. You know what I mean? That's just, that's too far.
As long as I can, but we do need help. So sorry that it bugs you.
No, you know what? I'm so glad you called, and glad that you're listening. Thanks, Jessica. 651-461-9226. Jessica sort of throws out the challenge. What do we do? Because teachers shouldn't be begging through Amazon wish lists. And looking at the text, I'm not alone in saying I'm not going to do it. So what are we going to do? Drive Time, back in a minute here on CCO.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRUSH. Video streaming live on YouTube and always on your radio at News Talk 830 WCCO.
You got to get to the Galleria in Edina in J.H. & Sons. It's Jason here for my connection to great men's clothing. J.H. & Sons has just been an absolute gift for me because they have stepped up the way I look, getting me ready for events, for special occasions, and just for date night, for my birthday. So much of my wardrobe is from J.H. & Sons. You deserve to look your best. I was talking to Kevin over at J.H. & Sons. And right now, by the way, spring, it's a great time to get over there because spring and summer stuff, almost all of it is 50% off. Shoes are like 40% off. Talking about button-up shirts, polo shirts, sports shirts. You got denim, dress pants, all sorts of great stuff. But we're talking about how you need to get over this idea that you don't want to be the best dressed guy in the room. Kind of a Minnesota humble thing. Let's erase that for the rest of 2025. But you probably need some help. The service and the team at J.H. & Sons will get you where you need to be. You can start with 1 or 2 pieces and build on. They're not looking to totally make over your wardrobe, although they'll do that if you want it to. Email list. It's a good idea to sign up for that. You'll be the first to know about sales and events at the store at the Galleria in Edina. But go see J.H. & Sons and tell them you heard about it on CCO.
Paul's new drone startup just lost its most genius computer scientist.
We just lost our best genius to some new genius who's got a genius new idea. I'm going to have to find a new genius. or 2 half geniuses and fast.
He needs a computer scientist that can keep his startup from falling down.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
New month, new flavors. Jordana here for my friends at Mini Leaf. I'm talking about those Sleep Night gummies. I know you love them, and they even have a new and improved Sleep Night gummy. But here's a twist. They got some new flavors. So, better sleep and some yummy new flavors. Great grape, green apple snooze, and mellow mango in the nighttime blend. And of course, everybody loves the peaceful pineapple. That still exists in those Sleep Night gummies. Better sleep is the way to a better you. Mini Leaf can make that happen. I give these out to friends all the time. I recommend them for anybody who's having sleep troubles. You guys know they help me get off my Ambien, really. These gummies help me get off a pharmaceutical. I hope they will do wonders for you. Here's how you get them. Minileaf.com. MINNELEAF.com.
Mini Leaf means quality. Taste happy at minileaf.com.
The home of Minnesota's best legal products.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. We're dedicated to serving people 50 and up like me. Our needs are different. Big Wireless wants us in an unlimited plan, but if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used. At Consumer Cellular, we're focused on affordable, reliable plans, including data that suits your needs, not ours. Our plans start at just $20, and you'll get the best customer service in the business.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Now that I'm a dad, I can't stop thinking about what would happen to my kids if something happened to me, like losing the house or not affording college.
Yeah, that used to keep me up at night too. It's why I finally got life insurance from Ethos. It's 100% online. No medical exams, just a few health questions. I got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day.
I never realized it was that simple. Get your free quote at ethos.com/life. That's ethos.com/life.
Rates may vary. Bill monthly. Sample rate 10-year term life policy for a 35-year-old healthy non-smoking male.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRUSH. Video streaming live on YouTube and always on your radio at News Talk 830 WCCO.
It is the time of year. School supplies. I sort of lost my mind about getting those Amazon wish lists from teachers. I'm sure you've had them sent to you as well. And we're talking about how you react to it. Are you happy to help? For me, it's a symptom of a larger problem. Of multiple larger problems. Some of it that we are a culture of holding out the hat all the time because of GoFundMes and wish lists. And so it just seems normal to say, like, well, as a teacher, you're like, I don't want to spend $1,000 on school supplies every year for my room. I get that. So what do we do? Let's go to Susan in Stillwater. Susan, you're on CCO. What do you think?
Hi there, Jason. Great topic. Actually, I agree with the teacher that called in that it is a systemic problem. So who's going to pay for it? It's got to be fixed. But also, as a parent, parents have got to step up, take care of your kids, teach them right and wrong, pay for their school supplies.
Yeah.
Make sure they're in bed at night, not breaking windows.
Right.
Just be a responsible parent. These poor teachers, my gosh.
Well, and
they're not responsible to take care of our kids.
And we ask so much today. It's so much more. I mean, I think about when I was a first grader and I came home from school with a pink slip because I threw a piece of bread at another kid. And my mom told me that if I got another pink slip, she would drag me back to school and spank my bare butt in front of all my teachers. And first of all, I believed her. Second of all, she knew exactly that was the thing that would get me to never get in trouble again. And sure enough, I never got in trouble again. I mean, that for me, that was it, right? Like, but today do you have some of that? I'm sure, but like, it's a lot of avoiding responsibility.
And the parents have got to step up. It is our responsibility to take care of our own kids. We birthed them. Take care of your kids. It would help the teachers, the police, the neighborhoods. It's our responsibility.
It's really good. Thanks, Susan. Appreciate it. Number of texters pointing out about how much the athletic boosters raise money, doing fundraisers, doing all this other stuff. You wonder, I sometimes worry about when you just have like the PTO. Like I said, I'm going to donate to help my sister-in-law, my kids' former school. But not all schools have the income level where parents can step up and donate that way. So I don't know. I guess I'd rather see it where we figure out how we can divert some money and make sure the teachers get reimbursed on this stuff. Candace is in Mendota Heights. Candace, thanks for calling CCO. You're a social worker, right?
I am a school social worker, and just like the last caller, I think Jessica said it so well. But I want to just comment on a couple of things.
Right.
As a social worker, how I respond is I work really hard to try to find the money. When I hear that there's organizations that are donating things, I go and pick them up. Even shoes. Many times different churches will give out shoes at the beginning of the school year. I will go and fill up my trunk with shoes and have them available for the students. It isn't just the school supplies, it's the field trips. And nobody's going to leave a child behind on a field trip. So teachers and social workers and engineers, it's everybody in that building. You would be so surprised. The heart that people have to support these young children is amazing. And, even as simple as school pictures, when people can't pay for school pictures, there's a workaround. I won't say it on the radio, but I know what it is. And other teachers and social workers can contact Life Touch and they'll tell you what it is. But I really want to give this message. Sure, we should put more emphasis on the parents should be taking care of all this, but not all parents can, and it's not always their fault. There's a million reasons, and I'm not sitting here as a liberal trying to say, let's do the parent's job, but if you really met one parent and found out why they couldn't do it, I think you would have a better understanding. They send their kids to school. They're clean, they're fed, they're ready to learn, but there are things going on. There's unemployment, there's mental health. It isn't because they don't want to.
Well, I have, Candace, I think everyone has empathy for that scenario, but it's a different deal when, like our first caller, who was saying that it's a lot of parents who can afford it and who just think it's the school's responsibility to handle everything. Thank you, Candace. Appreciate it. Great calls, great text. We're going to break in a minute. Rebecca Jarvis from ABC News grew up in Minnesota. She's back here in town, and she's joining us for a nice conversation about the economy. She is the economy and technology and business reporter for ABC News. Rebecca Jarvis next on CC.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRUSH on News Talk 830 WCCO.
How long do you think it would take for your home to sell? Have you ever tried to figure that out? It's Benita here. There are some people who sell theirs within days. That's awesome. But it's all too common for it to take months and months and months. For the people that seem to have a for sale sign in their yard forever, chances are they hired the wrong real estate agent. You need to work with my buddy, the good neighbor agent, John Schuster of the John Schuster Group, Coldwell Banker Realty. Matt and Sarah hired John, and this time, after struggling with another real estate agent, they didn't have time to sit around and wait. John's marketing system reaches thousands of potential buyers. They got the cash offer they wanted. You can too. On JohnSchusterGroup.com.
Buy a home, sell a home, we'll get you moving. JohnSchusterGroup.com.
Terms and conditions.
Dave Lee for Aquarius. Let's talk about your main drain. That pipe is supposed to drain, not gurgle like a science experiment gone wrong. If your sink drains slower than your buddy's fishing stories, or your shower backs up like a traffic jam, it's time to call Aquarius. They're my go-to home service experts and always provide solutions you can trust and enjoy $98 off any repair. Visit AquariusHomeservices.com. Aquarius, local, trusted, and earning the right to be recommended.
Gain a global perspective and specialized skills that many of today's top employers are seeking with an MBA from University of Maryland Global Campus. Study online and complete your degree in just 16 months for about $21K. Choose from MBA specializations in global business, marketing, HR, finance, and more. No application fee if you apply by September 3rd. Learn more at umgc.edu. That's umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
If you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt, medical bills, or personal loans, help is here. As Americans continue to pile up astounding credit card debt levels with high interest rates to make ends meet, debt relief is being made available through National Debt Relief that could reduce a significant portion of what you owe if you qualify. For many, continuing to struggle making minimum monthly payments could take 25 or more years to pay off. National Debt Relief has already helped over 550,000 Americans reduce their debt by negotiating directly with their creditors. When you call, you'll be amazed at how much you can save and how quickly you can become debt-free. If you want off the debt treadmill, call National Debt Relief today. You don't need to declare bankruptcy, and you may qualify for significant debt relief. Call the Relief Hotline now to check what savings you may qualify for. Dial 800-476-3131. 800-476-3131. That's 800-476-3131.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Real Success. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at ourrealsuccess.com.
Do you want to learn how to make money flipping houses and acquiring rental properties right here in Minneapolis without using your own money? You'll learn to flip houses and secure rental properties in your spare time to get on track towards real wealth building. We're offering a handful of motivated individuals the opportunity to attend our workshop right here in Minneapolis for free. That's right, we'll give you 2 free tickets when you text EARN to 64,000. Minneapolis is the perfect market to flip houses and build rental income. Don't miss this opportunity. Come to a complimentary live 2-hour workshop next week right here in Minneapolis and learn how to start making money flipping homes and building long-term wealth with rental properties. To get 2 free tickets, text EARN to 64,000. Text in the next 10 minutes, and registrants will also receive a free copy of our Funding for Deals guide. Text EARN to 64,000 for 2 complimentary tickets. Text EARN to 64,000.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Blocking crash cleared East 494, 12th Avenue. Still some slowing though as you come in from France Avenue. Traveling Highway 212, that's jammed up both directions between the area of Highway 5 and 494. If you're going to be traveling 694 westbound, got some slowdowns there. Highway 10 over 235W. Trey Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
If you have trees to trim or need tree removal, call an ISA certified arborist. Call the CCO Land Company I use. B&M Tree Service, 1-800-569-9034. Or get on the web, bnmtree.com.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
CCO forecast brought to you by B&M Tree Service. Here's Chris Schaefer.
Enjoy the tranquility of this weather pattern. Partly cloudy, 60 tonight. We'll be dealing with a thin wave of smoke once again from those Canadian wildfires. Partly cloudy tomorrow, a high in the low 80s once again. We do have some scattered showers that will roll through on Thursday. It's also going to get a little bit humid. It stays humid through the weekend, and we'll have chances of rain Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Not a washout, just rounds of rain possible.
Air quality is good. 80 degrees in Brooklyn Park on CCO.
Jason DeRusha
If I'm having a bad day, I will pull up and I am ready to go.
on News Talk 830 WCCO.
She is a Minneapolis native, one of us, so that's what's most important. But I am a huge fan of Rebecca Jarvis, ABC News' chief business, technology, and economics correspondent, who who is with us in studio. It's so good to see you.
It's so great to see you, Jason. I'm so glad you reached out.
It's been a couple of years since you were in town for like a Minnesota SPJ event, I think, that we're at the same table.
Yes, I'm frequently back in Minnesota to see my family. All of my cousins live here. My in-laws are here. So I get back, but most of the time they're unfortunately short, quick, consolidated trips. But I always feel good when I'm back in Minnesota.
Now, I did see you posted this morning your live report for GMA where
we were next to DeRUSH Hour, and
it was just a generic backdrop, right? Like it had nothing to do with the story.
Well, part of the story, there were two stories we covered this morning. There was Claire's filing for bankruptcy, which happened. So we ended up covering the story, but we were here already for another story we could talk about. But of course, the air quality alert came up, and given that sports are impacted by this and outdoor activities, we wanted to be near a football field, and that's how we ended up there. We also happened to be near a train.
That's right. Yeah.
If you watch the show, you know why I say that.
That's how it goes sometimes,
the train
right?
showed up the minute. Truly, it was complete silence. And we do these things kind of in the middle of the night because GMA is live on the West Coast, GMA is live on the East Coast, and then we're here in the Midwest. So it was complete silence, but of course a train went by the minute I began speaking.
That's how that goes. Now, you are in town for a story about a nonprofit, kind of a cool story that'll be on GMA tomorrow morning. Right?
Yes.
Right here on Channel 5 here in the Twin Cities.
Thank you, Jason. Yeah, I'm really excited about this story. It's a story about a nonprofit called the Green Garden Bakery. It was started by young people about a decade ago in North Minneapolis. They grow vegetables and then make those vegetables into treats, sell the desserts, and then they split the proceeds between each other. They're investing in their future. They're putting it in their retirement savings accounts, but then there's also the investment back in the business, and a third goes to other charities that the young people choose. So it's really a win-win across the board.
How did you find out about them, or how did you get the bosses to be like, yes, let's go do this? Really, it's an investing, it's a business story.
It's an investing,
but it's a feel-good story too.
It's a feel-good story, and my producer Taylor Dunn is here with me as well on this trip, and we are always
if you're watching on the YouTube stream, you can see Taylor sitting on the floor. Like that is.
I love that it's a wide enough shot to see her on the floor.
That's how this is. Producer life. Like you dreamed of working at the network, and now you're sitting on the floor in a garbage radio
I have
studio.
a rule. She always has to be a little bit lower than me. I'm totally kidding.
Well, you're not very tall.
Taylor Dunn is an amazing producer, and I say that as a joke. She knows how important she is to the whole operation. And her dog, Shayna, frequently joins us on our shoots in New York as well. She doesn't travel. We don't have budget for that. But
sadly, yeah.
but we found this story because, first of all, I'm always looking for Minnesota stories. I'm so attached to this place, and I love the people, and I love looking at how Minnesota is doing things smarter, better, differently than the rest of the country. And I'm always in awe of the spirit that takes place here, and also because I cover business and I'm looking for entrepreneurial stuff. I'm looking for things where young people are investing in their community and their future and becoming the solution. I think, when I was a young person growing up here in Minnesota, I worked with a group called the Minnesota Alliance with Youth, and it was always so important to me that young people could be a part of the solution and not just the problem. And I really love that these young people who started Green Garden Bakery saw themselves in that way and put their time where their mouth was. And that's what they've done. They've built this.
So that'll be tomorrow
on Good Morning
on
America.
Good Morning America.
Channel
Excellent.
5.
Very good. All right. We've done our job. We did the promotion. That's how this goes.
Thanks, Jason.
Rebecca Jarvis is with us. She's the Chief Business Technology and Economy.
Yes, you can say yes.
Econ.
It's a long title.
Why is your title so long?
Well, I just add another domain.
That's how it works.
Expertise.
Instead of a raise, they give you another chunk to your title.
ABC News has been a wonderful place to work for. In fact, I've now spent almost 13 years at ABC News. I started when I was 12. It's been the longest run I've had at any place, and it's been a wonderful, truly wonderful place to work for that time.
We just hit, I think, the anniversary. We were talking about this last week on the show. When I was in college, I interned at ABC.
Yes.
an intern, the highlight of my summer was that Peter Jennings knew my name. But it
led to a
con-
conversation about really, the changing role of national network news in our lives. And just in your 13 years, so much has changed, right?
So much has changed. And I think the advent of social media, the way people consume news, the way people get their news, ABC News has really focused on all of that by developing so many different options for people. We have now a new streaming program on Disney+ in the mornings called What You Need to Know. My friends and colleagues, Rachel Scott and James Longman, anchor that on Disney+. You can get it anytime, but it comes out early in the morning. Obviously, there's Good Morning America and World News Tonight and Nightline in 2020 and This Week with George Stephanopoulos, all the things people know, but there's so many more ways people can connect with us, can connect with the content and the news that we are working to deliver every day.
I mean, because obviously your podcast on Elizabeth Holmes was incredible and incredibly successful also.
Thank you. It's been, I love,
because it's different. We both grew up wanting to do sort of traditional journalism. We had no idea what all of the things, how much everything was going to change.
Yeah.
But you seem to adapt. You dig it, I think.
Well, I love it because I think there's, as an entrepreneurial person myself, where I'm always sort of trying to envision what the next thing might be and how I can participate in that, it's been a real avenue for me to do the kind of work I desperately want to do in new ways. And like you mentioned, The Dropout, that was really the first major narrative podcast that ABC News produced. And Taylor Dunn, my excellent producer, and Victoria Thompson, who's not here, the three of us just kind of set out with a blank canvas and were able to report that story out and tell the story in the way we wanted to tell it as a podcast. And I think that's the beauty of these new/old mediums. Obviously, you could be listening to the radio right now and you're like, well, I've been listening to quote unquote podcasts forever.
100 years it's been that sort of storytelling.
But it does, I think, as a journalist, and oftentimes young journalists ask me, or aspiring journalists ask me what they can do. And I think while there is just more, and that can be harder to break through, it also gives a creative, thoughtful, entrepreneurial person the opportunity to build something like you have here, to build a conversation, to build in a new medium, and to do it without any necessarily rules. Although I would say I would adhere to the traditional rules of fact-checking journalism, second sourcing everything, knowing, I cover the economy. So numbers are incredibly important. And from day one, again, Taylor, I'm sure can appreciate this from day one. It's mattered so much to me to make sure that the facts are right.
Well, you came by that honestly.
My mom, Gail Marks Jarvis, Pioneer Press here in Minnesota. I grew up with my mom impressing upon me how important that was. And it was impressed on me when she was in the job before I even said I was interested in pursuing the same path.
As someone in communications and radio now, but journalism, like my fear is that my kids would want to go into it.
I understand that fear. I get it.
I don't know.
It just looks but the way you do it, if you could just make it look a little less, you could do it a little less in a little less enjoyable way, then maybe they wouldn't want to do it. But you just make it look too fun.
It looks too fun. Yes, they don't realize when you put on your business and economy correspondent role and you look at network news or local news, it is I think the appetite for this is still tremendous, but the business model it's a challenge.
It's a changing landscape for sure, because people can get their information, and they are getting their information from so many different places. If you think about it, there's this pie, and the pie used to be split among a handful of players, and now the players are endless, and there are new entrants every single day.
Which is cool and also horrifying.
Right. It's of course.
Yeah.
There's definitely pros and cons to the whole thing.
This is Drive Time with DeRUSH on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Terrene Dermatology wants to see you. It's Jason here from My Dermatologist. I was out riding my bike today. Sunglasses, helmet, and the other safety equipment that I always have with me is sunscreen. That sun protection is so important. And so many of us, especially like if you're a guy my age, you spend a lot of time in the sun, maybe not taking care of our skin. It is a good time to go get that full body skin checkup at Terrene Dermatology. Terrene Dermatology has 9 locations, and you can check them all out at TAREEN dermatology.com. They are new in Lindstrom. They are new in Lakeville, Eagan, Farmington. The Hudson location is beautiful. I go to Roseville. They're in Faribault. Wherever you are, they're close by. 651-633-6883 is their number, but you can book online and get in within 3 weeks at TerreneDermatology.com.
Advantage Seamless Gutters is now Advantage Home Pros. New look, same pros, still locally owned and now taking care of all your gutter and roofing needs. Don't spend your weekends on a ladder cleaning your gutters when you could be spending time with family and planning that summer trip. Trust your local gutter pros, Advantage Home Pros. Now your local custom roofing pros. With the highest quality workmanship and materials, our trained, knowledgeable local pros can handle it all. Trust the pros. AdvantageHomePros.com.
Thielen Meats of Pierce is where tradition meets taste.
Family grown, employee owned. We've mastered the art of meat.
That's why we're the #1 meat market in Minnesota.
And we're located right here in Pierce.
Check out our mouthwatering selection at ThielenMeats.com.
Better yet, stop in and see for yourself. We're serving up love one cut at a time.
Thielen Meats, from our family to your feast.
No meals complete without Thielen Meats
of Pierce.
Construction problems come with challenges, but legal issues shouldn't be one of them. At Helmuth & Johnson, we focus on construction law, protecting contractors, developers, and business owners from costly disputes. From contract negotiations to litigation and compliance, we make sure your projects stay on track and your interests stay protected. Whether it's a delay, a dispute, or a deal, we've got you covered. Visit hjlawfirm.com. That's hjlawfirm.com. Helmuth & Johnson, on your side, at your side.
Hi, Denny Long here. Join us every Saturday for the Home Improvement Show by Lindis Construction. Andy Lindis and I will be taking your home improvement questions both by phone and by text every Saturday morning at 9 o'clock here on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Did you hear? A recent stash of $10 gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s, and less than 200 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-969-0686 and you are guaranteed a $10 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-969-0686. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $40 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-969-0686 now to secure your $10 gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-800-969-0686.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
North 169, you're going to find stuff on the heavy side, pretty much the entire run. Bend Road heading up to 610. 10 westbound jamming up as move past Foley, head over toward Hanson Boulevard. Over on the east side, you're going to find 35 east slowing in both directions between Highway 36 and 94. And 494 westbound, still some slowing across the Minnesota River Bridge. Trey Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Choose Herbert & Gerbert's when you want fresh ingredients for a perfect sandwich like the Italian Flash or the Turkey Avocado Norma. Funky names that are full of flavor. And don't forget our hearty soups and chili. Stop by or order ahead online. HerbertandGerberts.com.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Herbert and Gerbert's bringing us the forecast. Low of 60 tonight, 82 beautiful tomorrow. It is 81 on CCO.
Text in, call up, discuss now. The CCO talk and text line 651-461-9226.
Tell me who's gonna save me.
Oh, yeah. Right. Minnesota is I will say really did not unveil that reality, and I was able to share it with the Minnesota Live team, Megan. Yeah. Favorite spots in New York. Outstanding. Great.
612 Saturdays are back at Target Field. Enjoy $6 drinks, $1 snacks, and $2 food when gates open.
I'm from the 952. Can I enjoy 612 Saturdays?
The 952 is welcome.
I'm from the 218.
218, 651. Everyone is welcome at 612 Saturdays.
I'm from the 313. How about me?
That's Detroit.
Yeah.
Sure. Enjoy the weekend wind up with 612 Saturdays presented by Carbliss. $6 drinks, $1 snacks, and $2 food. When we're together, the Twins rise as one. Join in at twins.com/tickets.
Millions of Americans use credit cards to purchase goods every day. The Durbin-Marshall credit card mandates put the secure transactions you rely on at risk, leaving you vulnerable to hackers and foreign cybercriminals that want your data. Hackers win. You lose. Guard your card before it's too late. Tell Congress your data security is not for sale and oppose the Durbin-Marshall credit card mandates.
Paid for by Electronic Payments Coalition.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
We are Minnesota. We are News Talk 830 WCCO 1029 HD2 Minneapolis, St. Paul. Streaming live on the free Odyssey app.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Cammie McCormick. National Guard troops arrived in the nation's capital today amid a debate over how bad the crime is in Washington. At the White House, Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt.
The president is taking action to address it. To get to the heart of your question, I think it's despicable that Democrats cannot agree that we need more law and order in a city that has been ravaged by violence, crime, murders, property theft. This should be a winning issue for all Americans.
A federal appeals court is allowing DoJ teams to access sensitive data on millions of Americans. Allison Keyes has that.
The 3-judge panel of the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Fourth Circuit granted DoJ teams access to data stored at the Treasury Department. The 2-1 ruling cites a June Supreme Court decision in a similar case involving Social Security data. Critics say DoJ has been operating mostly out of public view on a mission for President Trump to downsize federal agencies and reduce government services.
As the Trump administration moves to revoke some student visas, Stacey Lynn reports there are concerns for the economies in some college towns.
A lot of international students attend colleges in Massachusetts, spending about $4 billion in the state annually. Many come from affluent families and spend a lot of money in Boston's upscale stores and restaurants and on rent. But as the White House moves to restrict visas, it's unclear how many of these students will return in the fall, which could impact not only enrollment at the schools, but also the local economy and has the potential to transform the housing market.
In Texas, where the redistricting battle continues, the special session could wrap up early, but reporter Jack Fink tells us it would be followed quickly by another, called by the governor, who wants even more GOP seats in the Lone Star State, beyond the original 5.
The Republicans are considering expanding that to as many as 8 new congressional seats. There are now discussions that they may, in fact, redraw Texas House and Senate seats as well.
The Perseid meteor shower could deliver a real show overnight and into tomorrow. Astronomer Derek Pitts of the Franklin Institute on the best viewing times.
Between midnight and sunrise. That's the best time. But if you can't do midnight to sunrise, the later you wait at night, the better your chances are of seeing actual Perseid meteors themselves.
And meteorologist Grant Gilmore has the latest on tropical storm Aaron.
As we get into Thursday, it becomes a hurricane and then potentially a major hurricane as we head to the weekend. Approaching the Lesser Antilles, tracking north. It's a big question. Where does this system track?
On Wall Street today, stocks finished higher. The S&P set another record. The Dow was up 483 points. This is CBS News.
Progressive Insurance, with insurance for cars, home, boat, motorcycles, RVs, and commercial vehicles at 1-800-PROGRESSIVE and Progressive.com.
Minnesota's trusted voice every hour. Let's get you caught up with what's happening now on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Hey, good afternoon. It's partly cloudy and 81 degrees at 4:03. I'm Mark Fry. This hour's top story. Hennepin County board members have voted in favor of taking over operations at the Hennepin County Hospital as the facility faces dire financial trouble.
The move means that the hospital's governing board will be dissolved as the county steps in to address the dire situation. Council Vice Chair Debbie Gotel.
As I look at this and I'm in support of this, I'm going to ask our task force to make sure that we have a community board that has eyes on this, that has a voice at this.
HCMC is the county's only safety net hospital. It has seen operating losses for 7 of the past 8 years, which has put it in risk of being closed this year. Members of that hospital governing board have fought this proposal, saying the financial trouble comes from rising costs and decreasing income from insurance providers, not from mismanagement. Susie Jones, News Talk 830 WCCO.
We're expected to hear more this afternoon about a Minneapolis Park police officer who was injured during an incident earlier today. That press conference expected to get underway momentarily. Details about that situation have been limited so far, and we are covering that in our newsroom. The Hennepin County Attorney's Office has filed a petition to free a man after decades in prison in collaboration with the Great North Innocence Project. The office looks to overturn the 1998 murder conviction of Brian Hooper for the murder of 77-year-old Ann Prasniak. Hennepin County Attorney Mary Moriarty says this comes after a crucial witness from the original trial confessed to the murder.
On July 29th, we learned that the state's star trial witness had come forward on her own to not only recant her testimony against Mr. Hooper, but to confess that she was responsible for killing Ms. Prasniak and concealing her body.
That person has yet to be charged. Hooper's legal team is asking for a speedy hearing to vacate his conviction. Residents are set to vote today in a special election for St. Paul's Ward 4 City Council seat.
The vote will fill the city council seat left vacant by former council president Mitra Jalali after she resigned back in February with 3 years left in her term. The race has 4 candidates: school board member Chantel Allen, attorney Molly Coleman, public health educator Cole Hansen, and public relations specialist Carolyn Will. The winner will represent a ward with a diverse mix of neighborhoods, from the bustling University Avenue Business District to some areas that fall just under the poverty line. Taylor Rivera, News Talk 830 WCCO.
And bad news for the purple and gold. Minnesota Vikings announcing today wide receiver and punt returner Rondale Moore will miss the rest of the season after suffering a left knee injury in Saturday's preseason game against the Vikings. Exactly 1 year and 2 days after suffering a season-ending injury while with the Falcons during a joint practice against the Dolphins. The Vikings again are back in action Saturday, a preseason matchup against New England. 4:06, traffic and weather next.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Things are slow along 394, both directions between downtown Minneapolis and Park Place Boulevard. 494 northbound, watching slowdowns there from Excelsior Boulevard, heading up to County Road 6. And then again to move between Bass Lake Road and Fish Lake Interchange. 35E is bunching up as you make the run between Roselawn and I-94. Sherry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Hungry? Go to Dickey's Barbecue Pit of Egan for real Texas barbecue. All meats smoked fresh in-house daily. You can dine in, take out, have it delivered, or have your event catered anywhere in the metro. Just go to Dickeys.com. Dickey's Barbecue Pit of Egan, the Twin Cities catering leader.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
And the weather is brought to you by Dickey's Barbecue Pit of Egan, the Twin Cities catering leader. Find them at Dickeys.com. Here's WCCO Radio. Here's WCCO TV Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
A quiet night tonight with a partly cloudy sky will cool back to about 60. Now, another wave of smoky air will pass over us briefly. That should clear as the day progresses tomorrow. Back to the sunshine with a high of 82. Showers are possible on Thursday. It does get humid, hot and humid for our Friday.
Thank you, Chris. It's partly
is it radio
cloudy.
or TV? Where does he work?
I'm not
Get
sure.
it right. His agent is coming for you, Mark Fry.
Chris is going to have my head.
Chris could not give two rips.
No,
I
I don't
think,
think
what
so.
we call him. Don't you think, like, how long has he been working?
A long time. I mean, relatively not that long, but still.
Like, long enough.
People know.
Do we have to say all this crap? You
I
know what I
would
mean?
not
Like
think
the
so.
intro, it's too much stuff.
Maybe I'll make the change.
You could be the leader.
Be the change you want to see, and I'm.
Oh, inspiring. I had a job where we used to have to introduce the weather people. It was Channel 12, and the weather was called Weather Watch 12.
That's a lot.
So we had to say, here's Weather Watch 12 Chief Meteorologist Mark Baden with your Weather Watch 12 forecast to the Weather Watch 12 Weather Center, which was...
Was there a sponsor in there too? That's
no. We had integrity back in
That sounds like
television
a
news.
NASCAR when they win the race and they thank every sponsor, and
Just so dumb, like so silly.
it is partly cloudy and 81.
Politics, sports, business, and everything that moves Minnesota. News Talk 830 WCCO. Good questions. Topics you'll probably talk about at dinner. Places to go for dinner. This is the Ride Home Reimagined. Welcome to Drive Time with DeRUSH. Now, here's Jason DeRUSH.
If you work for a city council member, I'm sorry, I don't think you should be going to protest. It's Jason. Welcome to Hour 2 of Drive Time. This came up at a city council meeting yesterday. Remember the chaotic scene when federal agents came and stormed a Mexican restaurant on Lake Street in Minneapolis. And in a time where there's a lot of uncertainty, right, about immigration action. And look, I'm very in favor of going out there and getting people who are criminals, who are in this country illegally, and sending them back. I am less enthusiastic, to say the least, about rounding up sort of otherwise law-abiding citizens. But I understand, like, people have different views on immigration. But when this raid happened, there were officers wearing ICE markings and patching. And so you can understand why people sort of lost their mind that, oh no, here come the feds rounding up our neighbors. Well, it turned out that it was a federal aid related to drug trafficking and money trafficking. And it wasn't an ICE operation. They had a couple ICE agents supporting, but there was no ICE activity going on. So whatever, the facts of it don't really matter. The reality is we're in an absolute environmental lunacy that once you start getting a little bit of a protest going, the word spreads and it doesn't really matter what the truth was. And so there was an after action review. And we talked about this the other day, sort of the failure by the mayor's office to more aggressively and effectively communicate with city council members as to what was going on. And you say, like, all right, you're going to, and I think the mayor deservedly gets ripped for that. And you say, look, we're in a rapid response environment. We need to get quick information out, not just to the community, not just to your team, but also to city council members. And so I think the mayor correctly gets ripped. Well, at a city council meeting, part of this after action report took a look at a handful of aides to city council members. 3 city council aides were on the front lines of this protest. And in fact, they weren't just on the front lines. The Minnesota Star Tribune has a photo that has like these guys, like, at a minimum, they're right up in the federal agent's business. At a maximum, they're like they're like aggressively interfering in what's going on with the federal agent. My view is this: if you work for a city council member, you work for the city. And I'm not saying if you work for the city, you should never be able to go to a protest. I'm certainly not arguing that. But I am saying you should maybe butt out and sit on it when there's a breaking, developing, emotional protest happening. If you want to go to next Saturday's protest against ICE, fine. If you want to go to the No Kings protest, fine. You can go to whatever protest you want. But this sort of rapid response, there's a federal operation going on. People flood the zone. If you work for the city, you work for the city. You are not working for a political candidate. You are not supposed to be a political person in that moment. You are a representative of the city. And when you're in the middle of it, and this is Council Vice President Aisha Chughtai's aide, Jeremiah Ellison's aide, also right in the middle, and then Aisha Chughtai's senior policy aide. All 3 of these guys right in the middle of the stuff. One of them, like Jeremiah Ellison's aide, is like holding a megaphone. You work for the taxpayers. Butt out. Sit out. 651-461-9226. I believe there are times that your job requires you to sacrifice some of your First Amendment rights. This is called being an adult. When I was a television news journalist, I did not put yard signs in front of my house. I did not campaign for certain candidates. I didn't campaign for anybody. I did the news. Was I allowed to do any of that? No. Did I come crying that, oh no, my First Amendment rights are being abridged? No. Because adults, when you make a decision to get a job, sometimes you have to weigh what you're doing. You got to weigh. And if you do not want to give up your 100% right to go to 100% of the protests you want, then don't work for the city. Work for a campaign, work for a political party, work for an activist group. Don't work for the city. Grow up. We've talked before about the fact that I am concerned in Minneapolis that for the last several election cycles, we have been electing people who are more interested in being activists in certain issues than they are in being leaders for the community. And it seems that this is what the voters want. It's what they're electing, and it's what their council members are doing. But I think it's dangerous. It's dangerous. And the city auditor questioned why these aides took part in the protest. Now, they clocked out, which, you know, okay. Like, this is sort of the crock about working for the city, right? Like, Dan, if you wanted to take part in a protest and you wanted to go from 10 a.m. until 11,
Mm-hmm.
you would probably not have to clock out. I don't know. Part of like you had to clock out because you can't have taxpayers paying you when you're at a protest. The fact they knew to clock out, to me, is again an indicator that like this wasn't the brightest idea.
I think, look, there's a difference between the wisdom of the idea and the basic right of the idea. I mean, if you're a city council person, or a city council aide, you're employee of the city.
You work for the city.
Should that then define what you can do any other time in your life?
Yes.
And I struggle with getting to that conclusion. I understand, like, when you talk about yard signs as a journalist, there's a journalistic ethic, but you're still making that choice.
Not really. Like the company tells you, you can't do that stuff.
But that's a journalistic ethic idea. That's not a free speech idea.
Well, you're
splitting a hair.
Yeah,
but
you're being told you cannot express your. You certainly have the right. To me, there's no question that they have the right to do it.
Right.
Should you have a personal ethical challenge? Should you do it? You also have a city policy challenge. And that is what the city auditor raised, where he's like, look, we don't have a very specific policy on this, but maybe we should.
Well, and especially if there isn't a city policy on it, then I think they're completely in the clear in going and doing this. Now, behavior at a protest, that's a whole separate idea, right? There's behavior that's appropriate for protesting, and then there's, becoming violent and physically interacting with the officers at the protest. That's a whole other level, right? That's no matter who you are, protesting in that way is unhelpful and wrong. But yeah, if the city doesn't tell them that they can't go do this, to me, free speech rights aren't absolute, but you have to give me a really compelling reason why, you're going to make an exception to them. And I'm not sure being employed by the city, to me, is enough.
Yeah. For me, it is. I think, especially when you're protesting law enforcement, which there were Minneapolis police officers who were there. Part of the reason that these city council aides were there protesting is because people thought that Minneapolis police were cooperating with ICE. And so if I live in, Aisha Chughtai's ward, and I see her policy aide, who I know works for Aisha Chugtai because they've been at, town hall meetings or whatever. And I see that somebody who works for the city council member protesting against law enforcement. Well, does that cause a danger? Does that undermine? You're essentially protesting against the city. You're protesting against your police department. To me, it leads to confusion when you agree to work for the city as a policy aide, work on policy. You don't need to run down to a protest in the middle of things. I do think sometimes your job means you give up certain rights. It has to be voluntary, but it could be a policy. As was my example, I agreed to the policy. If I didn't want the policy, go work somewhere else.
We can agree that given the current makeup of this Minneapolis City Council, the notion that there's going to be a policy that would restrict protest rights in any way is a fantasy, right? That there's zero chance that happens.
The council members told the Star Tribune, at a time when the Trump administration is separating families and disappearing loved ones, people of conscience should act in solidarity with communities under attack. Okay. Allison said at the meeting that the aides were on their own time. And he condemned federal law enforcement's assault on his staff, that his aide was repeatedly shoved in the back. I just think in the middle of a day, emergency response. Go to all the protests you want. But when you're in the heat of it, responding, I think it's irresponsible. 421 back in just a minute here on Drive Time.
This is Drive Time with DeRUSH on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Jason here for our friends at the Minnesota Pork Board. Oh, man. I was just thinking about what are we going to have for dinner tonight? And then Dan said it's time to talk about pork. And I have an idea. Tonight, good air quality, low humidity. Is this not the perfect night to fire up the charcoal grill in the backyard? A little salt, little pepper, little bone-in pork chop. Oh, baby. Bacon is just the beginning when it comes to pork. Taste what pork can do for you. So much flavor, so much nutritional benefit, and frankly, so much affordability. When you go to your grocery store, your butcher shop, and you look for Minnesota pork, you're going to see a great value. And so enjoy. Get out there. Get some great tasting pork. Maybe you need some inspiration for a recipe. Maybe, I just want to go simple. You want to fancy it up? I'm not going to stop you. I'm not banning your First Amendment right to cook some delicious pork. You want a recipe? Go to mnpork.com, but go to the grocery store or the butcher shop. Let's have Minnesota pork for dinner tonight. Oh, yeah.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
William is one of millions of Americans who uses GoodRx to save on the cost of their prescriptions.
My oldest daughter, Camilla, 2 days old, she had to have open heart surgery. All of a sudden, she's on 5 different medications. It adds up at the end of the month. Me and the pharmacist got so tight. She said, GoodRx save you a lot of money. Saving that extra $200-300 a month. We're able to do all these extra activities, so it puts less stress on our household, and it puts less stress on our pockets.
Download the free app or visit GoodRx.com and start saving today. GoodRx user compensated for their time. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance.
Washburn-McCreevy Funeral Chapels and Cremation Services has been providing compassionate and personalized service for over 160 years. Honor your loved one and ensure your own wishes are met. Call 612-377-2203 or visit washburnmccreevy.com.
At JoeBrothersConstruction.com, you can get a free roof replacement quote in 30 seconds just by entering your address.
Yeah, but how much is it going to cost me?
Nothing. The free roof replacement quote is absolutely free. You just go to JoeBrothersConstruction.com.
How long is this going to take? I don't have all day.
It only takes 30 seconds.
Sure, but what's the catch?
No catch. It's free and it only takes 30 seconds at JoeBrothersConstruction.com.
Yeah, I'm going to need to speak to your manager, Ronto.
What is your next success story? At University of Maryland Global Campus, you can succeed again with more than 135 affordable online degrees and certificates to help you move your career forward. From cybersecurity and AI to healthcare and MBA, our programs help you build critical thinking, leadership, and communication skills that set you apart in today's job market. Apply now and save with no application fee through September 3rd. Visit umgc.edu to get started. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit information kit. 800-311-9595. That's 800-311-9595.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRUSH. Video streaming live on YouTube and always, and I mean always, on your radio at News Talk 830 WCCO.
This is an awesome Twins Ticket Tuesday today because we are giving away tickets for this Friday's game against the Detroit Tigers. So you got a big series, Detroit Tigers, 7:10 first pitch. And after the game, there's a Dustin Lynch concert. So I was at the Nelly concert after the Twins game, the last time they had this, and you get the concert just with your ticket to the game. It's pretty cool. Now, some people ponied up for the VIP, and the VIP, after the game is over and they're like rolling out, is quite impressive. They turn the field into like a concert venue in like 20 minutes. So they're rolling out the speakers and the stage and the whole bit. And while they do that, they bring the fancy people,
the VIP people,
down to the field. And I will say this.
How are you not part of the VIP experience? That's
Well,
kind of how you roll.
You know, I'm glad you bring this up. It's an excellent question. I would say that the number of people who are down at the VIP, it was fewer people than I thought there would be.
Really?
But I think they limit it because, you know, it's kind of a pain to usher all these people down.
I suppose it takes time. And
so, anyway, twins.com/Dustin Lynch. And now I'm looking at the VIP feel. Oh, they had a denim shirt package.
Ooh.
That's sold out.
How about that?
That's gone.
So,
but we're going to give it away.
Before we get to Twins pregame at 5:30,
yeah,
keep listening. When you hear the Win Twins sounder,
right?
Caller number 3 gets 4 tickets to go see this game, and you get to check out Dustin Lynch at the same time.
Pretty cool.
That's not bad.
So the concert, I thought it would be like a 25-minute concert. Nelly did an hour.
Wow.
So it's like
it's a high bar for Dustin Lynch to meet.
Dustin better not kind of shank it. You know
No.
what I mean? So in just a couple of days, it is State Fair time. Yeah. Today. What is today? Tuesday?
Today's Tuesday, so it's a week from Thursday.
And today, the Minneapolis St. Paul Business Journal got their hands on the data for how much money the food vendors made last year. So we all know who made the most money.
Sweet
right?
Martha.
Sweet Martha.
Yeah.
Sweet Martha made $4.9 million.
Good for her.
Good for her?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Sweet Martha's, now this is just revenue. So don't think like.
This is gross. This is
gross.
Right.
Because the way you pay to be at the state fair, the way you pay the fair is a percentage of your gross revenue. So that's why they track this. So Sweet Martha, $4.9 million. Her rent for 3 locations is
not cheap.
I think it's 15% of that. So you're like, all right, if you're making $4.9 million,
he's taking off his shoes to do the math.
Times 15%, that's $735,000.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty good. Who do you think is number 2?
Ooh.
Number 2.
Would it be?
It's another icon.
Is it a classic? Is it like the Pronto Pup stands?
Pronto Pup is correct.
Hey, how about that?
Very good, Dan. You have not seen this, so you don't know.
I know. I honestly have not. So.
Pronto Pup, $2.3 million, 8 sites. So there's a lot of stands
Sure.
for Pronto Pup. Next is a spot with 1 site, just 1 site.
Ooh, the corn roast?
Corn roast is top 10, $1.3 million for the corn roast. Now, bear in mind, Martha's got almost $5 million.
Yeah.
So it's kind of $5 million.
And then it drops off precipitously.
2.3 for Pronto, 1.6 million for the cheese curds. The cheese curds. And then everybody's sort of in that ballpark. Perfect pickle, so the deep fried pickle, 1.5 million. Fresh French fries, the Dairy Association, then corn. I think the one that people are most surprised about is Caveat. Caveat is the giant egg roll. And they're just in like a food truck type thing. $1 million. Caveat. Blue Barn, almost 900,000. But then they make money from beer too. Beer is separate. So this is just food revenue. Pretty crazy. It is 4:31. We're going to break. When we come back, DeRusha Eats, a story of a family that was at there was a near-death experience. And then they bought a beloved apple orchard, but they're changing it quite a bit. Pretty cool stuff going on in Minnetrista. We'll talk to the owner of Everly Farms in just a minute here on CCO.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRUSH. Video streaming live on YouTube and always on your radio at News Talk 830 WCCO.
If you have doubts about your retirement readiness, listen to the Retirement Reality Report with Mark Dillon and David Linsky of L3 Family Wealth Partners. Join the Linskys Saturday mornings at 11 right here on WCCO.
A picture is worth 1,000 words. And if you want to sell your home for the most money possible, the right exterior photographs can get you thousands of dollars more. Contact my friend, the Good Neighbor agent, John Schuster of the John Schuster Group, Coldwell Banker Realty. If you're thinking about selling your home next year, those pictures might be taken in the winter, and your home is just not going to look as warm and inviting if there's snow on the ground. This month only, John will send out his professional exterior photographer, and it's going to let you show off your home while your lawn and garden are looking their best. No out-of-pocket costs. Also, a free staging consultation if you sign up this month. No obligation to hire John to sell your home either. You should, but he'll still be a good neighbor and help you out even if you choose someone else. Contact John, 952-222-9000 online, johnschustergroup.com.
Buy a home, sell a home, we'll get you moving. JohnSchusterGroup.com.
Terms and conditions may apply.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Real Success. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at OurRealSuccess.com.
Do you want to learn how to make money flipping houses and acquiring rental properties right here in Minneapolis without using your own money? You'll learn to flip houses and secure rental properties in your spare time to get on track towards real wealth building. We're offering a handful of motivated individuals the opportunity to attend our workshop right here in Minneapolis for free. That's right. We'll give you 2 free tickets when you text EARN to 64,000. Minneapolis is the perfect market to flip houses and build rental income. Don't miss this opportunity. Come to a complimentary live 2-hour workshop next week right here in Minneapolis and learn how to start making money flipping homes and building long-term wealth with rental properties. To get 2 free tickets, text EARN to 64,000. Text in the next 10 minutes, and registrants will also receive a free copy of our Funding for Deals guide. Text EARN to 64,000 for 2 complimentary tickets. Text EARN to 64,000.
Hey, Jordana, I'm Brian. I'm 58 and single. I have a house, a bunch of investments. I have a sister I'm close to, but no kids or anything tying me down, so I never really worried about planning for the future. Recently, a friend of mine passed away unexpectedly without a will or a trust, and it created a huge mess for the family he left behind. I don't want to be a burden on my sister. I want to be prepared. So why should I choose Gutman Law?
Hi, Brian. Your instincts are correct. If you were to do nothing, the state would decide who's in charge and how to distribute your assets, which is probably not what you want. And your sister will have a lot to sort out by herself. Now, this is the reason why I chose Gutman Law. My family, Matt and Jamie, were so sensitive to the nuances of my situation after a divorce. An estate plan is more than just names and numbers on a piece of paper. It's family. Making it easy on them is what matters most. From healthcare directives to wills to living trusts, Gutman Law can help you determine what type of planning makes sense to protect you and your loved ones. 612-895-1616 or go to gutmanlaw.com. Gutman Law, giving you peace of mind today for tomorrow.
At Advent, nasal congestion and sinus infections can be solved with an in-office 20-minute procedure. Elsewhere, expect surgery.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Highway 62's on the heavy side, speeds below the post, making your way past 34th Avenue, heading out towards the Mendota Bridge. Cedar South jammed up, 494 to Highway 13, North 169, speeds below the posted. Pretty much entire run as you come up from before the crosstown all the way up towards 694 and 94 westbound. That's jammed up Hemlock Lane up to 610. Trey Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Clogged gutters? Call the pros, Advantage Home Pros. With the highest quality workmanship and materials, seamless gutter installation, cleaning, and covers, our trained, knowledgeable local pros can handle it all. Trust the pros. AdvantageHomePros.com.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Advantage Home Pros bringing you the weather forecast. Experience the advantage at AdvantageHomePros.com. Here is WCCO Radio and TV Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
Enjoy the tranquility of this weather pattern. Partly cloudy, 60 tonight. We'll be dealing with a thin wave of smoke once again from those Canadian wildfires. Partly cloudy tomorrow, a high in the low 80s once again. We do have some scattered showers that will roll through on Thursday. It's also going to get a little bit humid. It stays humid through the weekend, and we'll have chances of rain Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Not a washout, just rounds of rain possible.
Man, sounds like a perfect night to go hang out on the patio of the Minneapolis Club right in downtown Minneapolis. I'm a member. I love hanging out at the club. You get great gym, great meeting spaces, beautiful building. But their patio and their restaurant's open to anybody. So you can make a reservation to go out to Charlie's or hang out on the patio. No smoke, no humidity. Today and tomorrow, why not? It is 81 here on CCO.
Jason DeRusha.
I like it fast. I like it.
You like it to clip along.
Like, let it rip.
On News Talk 830 WCCO. DeRusha. He has the eats.
Nobody brings you the Twin Cities restaurant scene like your favorite foodie. Now, Jason explores some of the great chefs, owners, and stories right in our own backyard. Drive Time now transitions into DeRusha Eats.
And DeRusha Eats is brought to you by the Minnesota Pork Board. The near-death experience that led a local couple to buy an apple orchard. Pretty interesting situation that goes back to COVID. Frank and Esther Weigel have really created something special at Everly Farms. You may remember it by its old name, Minnetonka Orchards. But it's more than just the orchards now, and Frank is with us on the John Schuster Coldwell Banker Hotline for DeRusha Eats. Frank, it's good to visit with you.
Nice to meet you, Jason.
Tell me, take me back to that time in 2020 when you realized that, you know, you had a second chance at life and you wanted to make it count.
Yeah, it was a rough time. So I remember once I woke up, I was, in a coma for about a month. My wife asked me what I really wanted to do. And, I always had this thought I wanted an apple orchard, there's a long history in my family back a long time ago having orchards, and my dad and I at one point were looking at orchards, and I decided at that point I wanted to sell my company, retire, spend more time with my young twins, boy, girl, and just wanted to spend more time with them. So with selling my company and retiring, I still needed something to do. I like to keep busy, and so an orchard came out for sale, and it was fairly close to our house, and so we decided to buy it. And so we kind of ran with it from there, and it was a great place. And Lowell and Phyllis Schapper created Minnetonka Orchards, and we met with them several times. And when we decided to purchase it from them, and we wanted to kind of keep within the spirit of keeping an apple orchard. I think a lot of people want to do something different with it. So and it just kind of evolved, and we're trying to create a more of a year-round experience there now.
You guys bought the orchard in 2021, right? So you've been kind of slowly and thoughtfully creating what it is that you want it to be.
Correct. Yeah. And so for years, the shoppers were getting older, and so we first came in and updated a lot of things, added a few attractions for kids. They had at one point tried to make wine, so they had some wine making equipment. So initially, we bought it just for the orchard, but since they had wine making equipment, we thought, my wife and I, Esther, we love wine. So we decided to give a shot at making some wine. And fortunately enough, we found a amazing, talented winemaker, John Reeves, hired him and ran with it.
Because Frank, like if you love wine, you had to be a little afraid about straight up making only Minnesota grape wine, right?
Correct. So that's the thing. I mean, I did know a little bit about wine, and wine is interesting grapes that there's a lot. It's like food. You can give the same chef the same ground beef and then make two different hamburgers, right?
Exactly.
And so a talented winemaker it's not just taking the grapes and crushing them and putting in the bottle. There's a lot of things that go involved. It's how you grow the grapes and how you maintain the grapes. You have to really be on top of good farming practices to make the highest quality grapes. And then once you have the grapes, it's how you blend the grapes, how long you age them, put them in the barrels, and so on. So there's a lot you could do to, I don't want to say manipulate, but it basically is manipulating, just like food, to create something. So, a lot of it goes into blending and other things. So he's done an absolutely amazing job. And we were, pleasantly shocked at his first run. When you first start this and you hire a winemaker, you never know exactly what you're going to get. But we were extremely pleased with the product that he produced. And we just keep evolving as we go.
We are visiting with Frank Weigel. It is called Everly Farms in Minnetrista. And you are, the orchard part of things. You're probably gearing up, right? We're close to the early season apples starting to come in.
Yes. So we should be open. We're looking to open the weekend before Labor Day, which is like August 30th range. So right now is kind of, we're got a lot going on trying to get the orchard ready. We also have our big charity event, Corks for the Cause, coming up this Saturday. So we have a sequence along with our grand opening of the restaurant on Sunday. So we have a lot going on within the next couple of weeks to get this orchard and ready to go for the public to come.
Are you glad that you bought it? Has it been more work in some ways than you expected, or what? I guess what, all of us, if you're in that moment of like, what would I want to do with the rest of my life? You might think that the orchard sounds pretty good, and then now a couple of years in, you're like, well, I don't know, was this crazy?
It's funny because some my former employees came out to visit, and they looked at me and said, "You work harder now than when you actually work." But no, it's fun because I like the variety of things we're doing. There is the crunch time of the season that's it's so much fun, but it's also when it ends, you get a little bit of a break there during the winter time. So no, we absolutely love it. It's great to have something because we're very family oriented. So it's great to have something where we could have, our twins are 6 years old right now. We have 3 older kids. But it's great to have something where you can go to work and you can actually have your kids with you. For years, I worked in long hours and I wasn't able to, attend all the kids' stuff, and my kids couldn't go to work with me. But we absolutely love it. It's feel productive and fulfilled at the end of the day when we're done with done with the day.
What was your old company, Frank?
So I was in the waste recycling business in California. And so I did that my entire career, and then ended up selling that in the end of 2021.
Wow, so cool! You think like, all right, you're always in the business of taking sort of natural resources and trying to turn it into something else, and that's sort of the same thing you're working on right now.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a different end of the process, really.
Right.
So.
Our guest is Frank Weigel from Everly Farms. Now, part of what you've done with Everly Farms is you've got the orchard, you've got the winery, and I'll have you talk about Corks for a Cause in just a minute. But you've also created a restaurant there called The Table, right? Tell us about that.
Yeah. So when we first started the winery, we thought about the tasting room. And so one of the things that always drove me nuts about when I went to Napa is, we previously was in California. You go to Napa and you go out wine tasting and none of the wineries had food. And so, you're drinking wine, you get, hungry, and also, you want to help absorb some of that wine.
Well, no doubt. Yes.
But when you go to other places, like if you wine taste in Italy, they serve food, So the one thing we thought is when we had the tasting room, we want to have food also. And so we hired Tom Grittner's our head chef, amazing chef, and he's created a great menu. And so we really kind of turned it into, it's a restaurant tasting room. We call it The Table at Everly Farms, where we'll be open Thursday through Sunday. Right now we're doing a soft opening. Sundays are our grand opening. But yeah, everything so far has been fantastic. The idea is we have a lot of everything is served to share. I mean, we have our wood-fired pizzas, wood oven-fired pizzas that we were popular for pizza nights on Wednesday nights out in our wine garden. But we have the same pizzas that we're serving inside the restaurant now. So
cool.
Along with along with a bunch of starters, different salads. We have also steak and the chicken and a burger, some pasta. So we have a variety of items.
This weekend, you've got Corks for a Cause going on out at Everly Farms. It's on the 16th. Tell us what you're raising money for.
Yeah, so this is our third annual. So this was kind of my wife's brainchild when we first started. She, wanted to get back to the community and do something, especially targeted towards children. And that we're big, family, kids, people. So we got connected with Crescent Cove. And Crescent Cove, if you haven't heard of them, they are the only hospice arrested children center. One of the parents have to quit their job to take care of the child. And what Crescent Cove does is it kind of relieves the parents, say if they want to go out and take their other kids on a trip. So they'll bring the child to their center, and Crescent Cove will take care of the child. Mm-hmm. Or, during the last days of life, they also will take care of it. So, it's kind of away from the other kids, which could really affect, the whole family dynamics there. So it's an amazing operation. My wife and I have toured out there, and it's just absolutely amazing what they do, the care they give for these kids. And so most of their funding is through donations. So they get, I think, a little bit of money, through some of the family's medical insurance, Medicaid. I'm not sure exactly how that works, but
sure.
I want to say, 75-80% comes from just donations. And so this charity that we're putting on, we bring in other local wineries to serve wine along with ours. We serve our wood-fired pizzas, and we have some other restaurants from the area. They're going to, have like a small dish to serve food. We'll have a live auction. We have live music.
Nice.
So it's just a great event to raise money, and we auction off some great vacations to different homes around the country. And 100% of the proceeds goes directly to Crescent Cove.
Oh,
so
wow.
All the expenses,
Cool.
Yes. So 100% of the expenses are paid for by Esther and I. And so we don't deduct a dime from what people donate to the charity.
Well, it's this Saturday. If you want to, you can just Google Corks for a Cause. It'll take you right to the page at everlyfarmswinery.com. Really great stuff this weekend. I hope a ton of people come out, and can't wait to get out there and check out the restaurant. And the apple season right around the corner, so plenty of people will be going out to Minnetrista to see Everly Farms. Frank Weigel, really great to meet you and great to talk to you, and thanks for spending some time with us today.
Yes, thank you very much.
There it is. DeRUSH Eats, brought to you by the Minnesota Pork Board. We'll break. When we come back, Dan Cook has a Taylor Swift conspiracy theory. The big news that Taylor Swift is releasing another new album. We'll talk about it in just a minute.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Jason here for Livia Weight Control Centers. I will be visiting Livia tomorrow in Coon Rapids, and that's why I went on a bike ride today. You just got to stay on track. It has been 3 years since I joined Livia. I joined in the summer. I lost 45 pounds. And when you start, you can lose 2 pounds, 3 pounds, 4 pounds, 5 pounds a week. You lose up to 10 pounds for your first 2 weeks. And so you get quick results, immediate feedback that it works, and it keeps you going. It kept me engaged, kept me going. The team at Coon Rapids was unbelievable. There's a Livia Weight Control Center close to you. And right now, the price is right. Livia wants you to feel your best this summer. It is Minnesota and Wisconsin's #1 most trusted weight loss program. They've been doing it for more than 15 years. I love that they've got the whole gamut of options for you. GLP-1 weight loss medications, award-winning nutrition, or combo platter. Nobody getting better results than Livia. Right now, it's so affordable. Meds start at $149 a month, and it's 50% off nutrition. But you got to join now. What are you waiting for? Make yourself the priority. Feel your best this summer. Livia.com, Livea.com, or call 855-GO-LIVIA today.
We're gonna win, Twins, we're gonna score.
I've been turning wrenches for nearly 20 years. For the longest time, it was chaos. Communication was spotty, PMs got missed, downtime skyrocketed, and accountability practically impossible. Then we switched to Maintain X. Total game changer. Now the whole operation runs through the Maintain X app. Work orders, safety procedures, parts inventory. I manage it all in one place with real-time updates. No more delays, no more surprises.
Maintain X helps maintenance teams run smarter, faster, and more efficiently. Thousands of frontline teams trust Maintain X to maximize uptime, cut costs, and stay audit ready. Start your free trial at maintainx.com. That's maintain and the letter X.com.
Thinking about buying or selling a business, the right legal team makes all the difference. At Helmuth & Johnson, our team specializes in sophisticated mergers and acquisitions, guiding you through every negotiation, contract, and closing with skill and precision. From due diligence to deal structuring, we are 100% client-focused, protecting your interests so you can focus on success. Big or small, we make complex transactions seamless. Visit hjlawfirm.com. That's hjlawfirm.com. Helmuth & Johnson, on your side, at your side, for all of your business needs.
Grown-ups, aren't Sundays more fun without, can I have screen time? Can I have a snack? I don't want to go to Grandma's. It smells funny. And I'm bored. Bored is impossible on Kids Day at Target Field. The gate 30 for lawn is turned into Bullseye's backyard. Kids' meals are half off. Kids 12 and under can run the bases after the game. And Grandma's invited too. Enjoy your weekend wind-up with Sunday Kids Days, presented by Target. Join in at twins.com/tickets.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Crash off to the right side, North 35E near Larpenter Avenue, keeping things slow as you pretty much come up from Grand Avenue. Traveling South 35E, that's a slow ride as you move down from Roselawn all the way down to Highway 62. 62 eastbound jammed up is midway between Gleason and Cedar Avenue. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Flint Hills Resources, Pine Bend Refinery in Rosemount. You see it as you drive by. Did you know they're celebrating 70 years of producing fuels that help move us forward? To learn more, go to pinebendrefinery.com.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Flint Hills Resources bringing us the weather forecast tonight. Partly cloudy, low of 60. Tomorrow, 82. Looks good. Thursday, scattered showers possible. High of 81. Gets humid Thursday into the weekend. Right now, though, it's going to be hanging out on the patio sort of night for me. 79 at Osseo here on CC.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRUSH, video streaming live on YouTube and always on your radio at News Talk 830 WCCO.
All right, let's take the Chef IQ Sense temp of the Twins.
Let's take the current temp of your Minnesota Twins. Brought to you by Chef IQ Sense. Get your wireless meat thermometer now at chefiq.com.
All right, the Twins at the Yankees. How do the Yankees just have our number? They always do.
They have forever.
They're still, like, the Yankees are 63 and 56, sort of the inverse of our record, but they've been sort of down in the dumps of lately, but nothing,
Doesn't matter.
no better salve.
They could be 0 for the season and they'd find a way to beat the Twins.
I'm going to say our temp is Luke cold. We were lukewarm. We're now like trending cold. 6-2 last night. Twins and Yankees back in action tonight at Yankee Stadium. Pregame starting here at 5:30.
The temp is screw you, Yankees.
We hate the Yankees. They're so good.
Against us.
Taylor Swift announced that she is releasing another album. And my reaction was not the first thought that Dan had. Your first thought was...
And I knew that this wasn't true, but I kind of wanted it to be. I thought, is this a reaction to the president the other day during the Sydney Sweeney controversy, pointing out how cold Taylor Swift had become after he had criticized her?
Said she's a woke singer who is no longer hot.
Yes. He's messed with her career, and look how unsuccessful she's going to be here to for. So I thought, well, then here's the new album. Swifties go crazy. This will be great.
She's still hot. Yeah. Everybody. She's doing fine. And so is her football boyfriend, Travis Kelce.
Heading out for the weekend? Lucky you.
Don't forget to stop at Thieler Meats of Pierce for some melt-in-your-mouth moments.
High quality beef.
Fresh and smoked sausages and brats.
Home smoked bacon.
All natural chicken.
A great selection of fish and seafood.
Visit us at thielermeats.com.
We've got the cuts that'll make your meal.
Call to order ahead and pick up on your way to the lake.
You'll be the hit of the party.
No meals complete without Thieler Meats
of Pierce.
Summer's here, and the rush for outdoor furniture is coming up fast. Now's the time to upgrade so you can enjoy your space all season long and for seasons to come. By the Yard builds premium, maintenance-free outdoor furniture made to last, built to order right here in Minnesota. Backed by a 35-year warranty and priced direct to you with no middleman markup. Visit Woodbury, Maple Grove, or Jordan, or start your order at bytheyard.net. You know, with By the Yard, life is better outdoor.
This Labor Day weekend, we're celebrating Bob's Discount Furniture's 200th store milestone with the entire Bob's family across the country. For more than 30 years, we've believed everyone deserves the home they love. That's why we brought our everyday low prices on furniture, mattresses, and more to over 200 locations from coast to coast and counting. Not to mention free treats for the whole family in our cafes. Celebrate Bob's Discount Furniture's 200 store milestone this Labor Day weekend.
Oh, my Bob! I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. We're dedicated to serving people 50 and up like me. Our needs are different. Big Wireless wants us in an unlimited plan, but if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used. At Consumer Cellular, we're focused on affordable, reliable plans, including data that suits your needs, not ours. Our plans start at just $20, and you'll get the best customer service in the business.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Anytime is tune-up time at Apollo Heating, Air, and Plumbing. For only $59 gets your AC ready for the summer heat. Just visit us at callapollo.com. That's callapollo.com.
Minnesota's #1 for the latest breaking news. News Talk 830 WCCO 1029 HD2 Minneapolis, St. Paul. Streaming live on the free Odyssey app.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Cammie McCormick. July's inflation report was welcome news on Wall Street, where stocks surged. Inflation was unchanged. Falling gas and grocery prices offset higher costs for imported goods. Kelly O'Grady has a breakdown.
Couple of areas, if you look under the hood, that you might see price increases if you're going to the store and shopping for items. Those would be furniture, footwear, motor vehicle parts if you're going and you're repairing your cars. And think about it, those are things that we are importing from other countries and would be subject to the tariff. So you are seeing the impact in those select areas of tariffs.
Investors also cheered the extension of the trade truce between the U.S. and China. In Georgia, authorities offered some new details about the suspect in last week's shooting at the CDC. Chris Hosey of the Bureau of Investigation.
Evidence in this investigation indicates that the shooter had recently verbalized thoughts of suicide, which even led to law enforcement being contacted several weeks prior to the incident.
Authorities say Patrick White broke into his father's gun safe. More than 500 shell casings were recovered at the CDC campus. A police officer was killed. Skylar Henry reports CDC workers are demanding better protection.
And that's everything from 24/7 armed security all across the campus to hardened ports of entry. They also say that communication during the time of the shooting was lackluster, even some calling it a failure.
National Guard troops arrived in the nation's capital today as part of President Trump's crackdown on crime. The district's residents have mixed feelings.
You know, when it comes to the city, you know, you have city crime, and as you looked at all the statistics, crime is really down. So it's really unnecessary.
CBS's Erica Brown.
One day after President Trump announced a federal takeover of Washington's police department and activated 800 National Guard troops, the White House says there are already signs of success.
Last night, approximately 850 officers and agents were surged across the city. They made a total of 23 arrests. A total of 6 illegal handguns were seized off of District of Columbia streets as part of last night's effort. This is only the beginning.
Nearly 2 months after Minnesota lawmaker Melissa Hortman was assassinated, a special primary election is being held to choose a candidate for her seat.
I feel good about having a chance to vote, but at the same time, it's sad to be here in a sense today because of the tragedy that forced us to have this election.
4 candidates are up for that seat. And checking the numbers on Wall Street, the Dow finished up 483 points. The S&P 500 set another record. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Minnesota's trusted voice every hour. Let's get you caught up with what's happening now on News Talk 830 WCCO.
And good afternoon. Partly cloudy, 81 at 5:03. I'm Mark Fry. This hour's top story. A Minneapolis Park police officer is recovering after a struggle with a suspect at Mueller Park.
Police responded to a report of a sexual assault near the 2400 block between Bryant and Colfax Avenue around 1:15. An officer found the male suspect in a nearby alley and attempted to arrest him. While doing so, the officer's gun went off inside its holster, injuring him. Park Police Chief Jason Ahato.
Remarks in the initial call was that this adult suspect had been in the park inappropriately touching children. It was a 911 call, but again, we're at the very preliminary stages of this. This is an open and active criminal investigation.
The MPD is investigating the circumstances that led up to the shooting, and the officer has been placed on administrative leave. Taylor Rivera, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Hennepin County Attorney's Office filing a petition to free a man after decades in prison in collaboration with the Great North Innocence Project. The office is looking to overturn the 1998 murder conviction of Brian Hooper for the murder of 77-year-old Ann Prasniak. Hennepin County Attorney Mary Moriarty says this comes after a crucial witness from the original trial confessed to the murder.
On July 29th, we learned that the state's star trial witness had come forward on her own to not only recant her testimony against Mr. Hooper, but to confess that she was responsible for killing Miss Prasniak and concealing her body.
That person has yet to be charged. Hennepin County board members have voted in favor of taking over operations at the Hennepin County Hospital as the facility faces dire financial trouble.
The move means that the hospital's governing board will be dissolved as the county steps in to address the dire situation. Council Vice Chair Debbie Gotel.
As I look at this and I'm in support of this, I'm going to ask our task force to make sure that we have a community board that has eyes on this, that has a voice at this.
HCMC is the county's only safety net hospital. It has seen operating losses for 7 of the past 8 years, which has put it in risk of being closed this year. Members of that hospital governing board have fought this proposal, saying the financial trouble comes from rising costs and decreasing income from insurance providers, not from mismanagement. Susie Jones, News Talk 830 WCCO.
And voting continues today in a special primary election to decide which DFL candidate will appear on next month's ballot in the House District 34B special election. The seat was left vacant after House Speaker Emerita Melissa Hortman and her husband were shot and killed at their Brooklyn Park home. This voter telling WCCO TV the reason for voting today is sad, but it's a way to honor Hortman's legacy.
All the things that Melissa Hortman stood for require us to be out voting today in order to honor the things that she believed in and worked so hard to try to bring to the state.
3 DFLers appear on today's ballot, while only one Republican filed for the seat. Polls are open until 8 tonight. That special election is September 16th. 5:06, traffic and weather next.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
So slow for crosstown eastbound Gleason to Cedar Avenue. 35E northbound crash at Larpenter's been taken care of. Still some congestion coming up from the area of Victoria Street. West 94 jammed up into Minneapolis as moved past Cretin. 394 eastbound a slow ride. Park Place Boulevard to 94. Jody Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
We all want worry-free water. With the Connecticut water treatment system, you'll enjoy softer skin, spotless dishes, and 36 months, 0% financing with approved credit. Schedule your free water analysis today at AquariusHomeservices.com.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
And the weather is brought to you by Aquarius Home Services. Here's Chris Schaefer.
A quiet night tonight with a partly cloudy sky. Will cool back to about 60. Now, another wave of smoky air will pass over us briefly. That should clear as the day progresses tomorrow. Back to the sunshine with a high of 82. Showers are possible on Thursday. It does get humid, hot and humid for our Friday.
Thank you, Chris. Partly cloudy, 80 at News Talk 830 WCCO.
Deep fried news on a stick. Make plans now to see Minnesota's radio station at the Great Minnesota Get Together. News Talk 830 WCCO. He knows news. He knows talk. He knows nonsense too. So get ready for a lot of each. This is Drive Time with DeRUSH. Once again, here's Jason DeRUSH.
All right, let's go. One more half hour every day from 5 to 5:30. We bring you up to date on the latest headlines with a little dose of snark and attitude and insight. Before we get into it, the city of Minneapolis just announced that their candidate filing period is over. So, you know some of the people who are running for mayor. But some of the people I was not aware of, and I also didn't know in Minneapolis, you can declare whatever party or principle you want. So we know Jazz Hampton and Dwayne Davis and Omar Fateh and Jacob Fry. But did you know that Kevin Ward is running under nobody's party? And Xavier Pauky is running under Protecting Tomorrow's Dreams. Somebody else running for the people. I like Adam Terzic, who is running under the Renaissance Party. That sounds very nice. My two favorites, Troy Peterson, who is running for mayor of Minneapolis under the Momunist. Is that's sort of communist, but with like a little dose of Momunist. And then Jeffrey Allen Wagner running under the Why Not Wagner? I mean, there's a city council member running under the Tell the Truth Party. Looking through the list. Oh, Jim Meyer, budgetary economic stability. That's good. Oh, now this guy runs all the time. Bob again, Carney. That is his legal filing name. His party or principle is Climate Revolution Elephant. So good stuff as always with the people running for. We wish them all well. We wish some of them well. It's time for the DeRUSH Hour news headlines. Let's do the lead.
The headlines you might have missed without missing a beat. This is your fast pass through the biggest and most impactful stories of the day. Welcome to the DeRUSH Hour headlines, starting with the lead.
Running to replace the former Speaker of the House who was assassinated. That is the special election in the city of Brooklyn Park, running to replace her seat in the House. Doesn't certainly mean that that person will be the leader, as Melissa Hortman was, but it is one of those seats where you think no matter what your political ambition is, it is a weird sort of situation to run for. There's also a special election with a couple hours left to vote in St. Paul. Blois Olson is with us with a drive time take to break down all of this. Blois, thanks for being here.
Just part of the service.
It is. It's amazing. You do it but all you do is give. All you do is give. It is a strange, any special election, often special elections end up being called because of a death or a sudden change or something. But to have a special election because of an assassination, such a short turnaround in time for people to even campaign. How do you campaign in a way that's appropriate? This just is a very strange situation in Brooklyn Park.
It is. It's a tragic situation. It's how do you have energy to run when you know the person you're running to replace was assassinated and was the longest serving speaker in history? So, no, there's definitely a feeling and a dynamic in this race that's not traditional and probably never will be. Even if you win, it'll always be known as Melissa Hortman's seat, no matter what.
Right. But it is part of the reality that has to go forward, and the community needs someone representing them. This is a very DFL district today. It is an indicator of how much the suburbs have changed maybe over the last 20 years, right? This will be the winner of the primary will likely be the winner.
That is, yes, it is likely that the winner of the primary for the DFL will be the winner. Special elections are always unpredictable. Melissa Hortman won this seat from a Republican, and I think that will give you the dynamic of how Brooklyn Park, that area, has shifted. She ran 3 times, and only on her 3rd time did she defeat a Republican. Now, this is not the suburban. These are not seats that's shifted to Democrats like recent seats that shifted mainly because of the Trump dynamic, but it's certainly part of the ever-changing political landscape in the state of Minnesota and throughout the country of how different people living in different areas tend to shift every 25, 30 years on how they vote.
There is a council member who's running, a former council member, and a Hennepin County prosecutor and former Governor Walz aide. Those 3 are the Democrats who are running. There's also a special election going on in St. Paul for a city council member, right? And that has been an interesting sort of dynamic going on there, just about replacing Mitra Jalali.
Yeah, Mitra Jalali resigned her seat. There's 4 people running in that seat. One of them is Molly Coleman. She's the daughter of former Mayor Chris Coleman. You also have a couple community activists running. So that'll be interesting because the way that seat lines up is the tension between the city council in St. Paul and Mayor Melvin Carter. They've disagreed on the budget. It's been litigated, literally litigated. And so it could be the deciding vote on that council. You just have no idea who's going to turn out in these special elections, especially on a beautiful August day,
right,
where you could be distracted by just going for a walk and forget to vote on a day like today. In a previous life, you and I would have called this a top 10 weather day.
Indeed. Now I'm stuck in a studio and you're stuck calling in the show. What's happening?
I know.
What's happening?
Do
you get
in
this climate? Do you get an advantage in being the daughter of the former mayor, or is that a plus or a minus when you look at St. Paul, which hasn't gotten sort of the headlines that Minneapolis gets for having a progressive city council, but they have been as progressive in many ways as Minneapolis has been.
Yeah, I don't look. There's some advantages if you're the daughter of a former mayor, but there may be some disadvantages too. I was just saying this to somebody on the phone today. I can't pretend to completely understand some of the younger progressive activist mindset in this economy because if they look around, their cities need some things that they're not getting right now. And I don't know when they're going to kind of see the writing on the wall. And I think that's much of the discussion we're going to have in these mayoral races.
Yeah, very true. Blois Olson, good stuff. Thanks, Blois. Appreciate it.
No problem. See you soon.
Blois is on every morning with Vanita with the morning take right around 6:40 in the morning. Next up, in the lead, the city of St. Paul did share news today that those cyber attackers did indeed demand a ransom. And St. Paul very proudly said, we didn't pay. We didn't pay. And so what did the cyber attackers do? Well, they sort of did what you would expect they would do, which is they leaked some data. Now, what does this mean? We don't know. 43 gigabytes of data from the City of St. Paul Parks and Recreation Department. So this is where employees stored some personal files. So I think about like Dan Cook. Like, what does Dan have stored on his computer here at work that if cyber attackers got into the Odyssey system, what would they get their hands on?
They would get their hands on some old show rundown sheets.
Okay.
And
man, if they got the secrets to like the good old days, the Paul and Jordana show.
Yeah. And then
Chad?
some audio clips.
Okay.
You know, some goofy, they get the Wind Twin sounder. Just think of the damage they could do with that. They would find some pictures of guests from in studio that we put onto our podcasts.
Yeah. Now, like,
that's about it.
If they got into my stuff, like I have mostly nothing like that interesting.
Right.
But I probably have my credit card information stored somewhere on some browser. I don't know if that's stored on the hard drive. Probably not. I may have like a W-9. That's got my social security.
Yep.
So like is relatively minor compared to having access to, citizen credit card numbers or social security or whatever. There is likely some useful information. Now, the reality is, are these cyber attackers really looking to go through 43 gigabytes of data to try to find Jason DeRush's W-9? No. What they're trying to do is scare the crap out of St. Paul to get the city to pay $100,000 or $1 million or whatever it is they demand.
And that's the point of the leak, right? The leaking this Parks and Rec data is saying, look, we do have some of your stuff. You don't know how much else we have, so you should really just pay us, and then we'll give you your stuff back.
It is a reminder, and we have seen in other communities, was it South St. Paul that also reported they had like a cyber attack, and that one was because of a phishing email. Folks, like, take your corporate training seminars seriously. Like, I know Dan and I had to sit through
religiously watch those videos,
15, 17 minutes that we most certainly watch those videos without like opening up another browser. And
they tell you, don't click on that link. Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
And then you take the quiz.
Yeah.
And then you get the certificate that you print out and give to your boss. This is serious business.
I usually autograph mine and give it to Dave Harrigan. So he appreciates that. I think he's got a collection somewhere.
That is the DeRUSH Hour news headline. Page 2 coming your way as we get you ready for Minnesota Twins and those dang Yankees. That first pitch just after 6 o'clock. Next, though, we'll talk about target field attendance. If you forecasted out what's it look like, a Minnesota lake that's now a stream and changing the way we teach reading.
This is Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Chris Lindahl wants to bring you speed. Lindahl doesn't have the need for speed. But the guaranteed cash offer is all about getting you to the finish line and getting you there quickly. It's Jason. Chris is my friend. Chris is an innovator. He's a Minnesotan local guy. There's a good chance if you are driving right now, you probably see his face. Well, you may just see his arms because some of those billboards are talking about a fresh start and getting cash fast. Right now, the guaranteed cash offer is hot. And that is because that guaranteed cash offer gets you through all sorts of situations. But the number one reason that people are saying yes to that guaranteed cash offer is speed. Fast. If you want a fresh start in life, maybe you inherited a house, maybe there was a death in the family, a job change, financial change, whatever. You got a house, you want to get on with it. You don't have time for inspections and repairs and renovations and gambling on the open market and decluttering and somebody flaking on you. Chris will get you the finish line in as little as 2 days. That is crazy. 2 days. Imagine this house has been like an anchor in your life, and Chris will liberate you in 2 days. Chris Lindahl, guaranteed cash offer. You know the website, chrislindahl.com. The time for a fast path to a fresh start is now with Chris.
You know that feeling when you're about to cut into a juicy steak and hope it tastes as perfect as it looks? Well, worry no more. The Chef IQ Sense is a wireless cooking thermometer that eliminates under or overcooking your chicken, fish, or meat, whether on the stovetop, oven, or grill. The probe is inserted into your food and connected wirelessly to an app. Once you select your desired doneness, the app alerts you when to take the steaks off the grill or the turkey out of the oven. It's that simple. Order one now on chefiq.com. That's chefiq.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy. In 2011, I founded Wesley Financial Group with one goal in mind, to help honest folks out of their timeshares permanently. Today, I run Wesley with my two sons, a real family business, treating every client and every employee like we'd want our own family treated. That philosophy has helped us grow into the largest, most trusted timeshare cancellation company in the United States. Fortune magazine even recognized us as one of the best places to work. Why? Because we genuinely care. In fact, some of our former clients were so moved by their experience working with us, they joined our team so they could help others to timeshare freedom. If you're stuck in a timeshare, give us a call. Let our family help your family.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit. 800-885-9700. 800-885-9700. That's 800-885-9700.
Hey friends, I'm Sharon McMahon, host of Here's Where It Gets Interesting. Each week, I speak with authors, experts, and thought leaders on everything from American history and democracy to how to be a better person on the internet. And don't miss my extremely popular docuseries, which educate you on things you never learned in history class. Follow and listen to Here's Where It Gets Interesting on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody. Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRUSH.
I would rather have a root canal with no Novocaine.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
DeRUSH Hour news headlines. Hey, if you missed our visit with Rebecca Jarvis from ABC News, just hearing this theme made me think of that. Make sure you check the podcast because we had a great visit with Rebecca at 3:30. You can check it out on the YouTube stream as well, youtube.com, the WCCO radio channel. Just click on live. Now, we start with a story that is a bummer. It's rough for the Minnesota Twins. It's bad for downtown Minneapolis. It is a chance for the worst fan turnout in Target Field history.
Anyway, listen to the roar of the crowd as the Indians take the field.
Ryan Costeca and Lavelle Neal saying that Minnesota on pace to sell 1.8 million tickets this year. Last year, it was 1.95 million. The Twins told us when we were out at spring training that the goal was to be in the 2 million ticket neighborhood, but that is not happening. There was a time, remember when Target Field opened, Minnesota sold 3.2 million tickets. They averaged about 37,800 fans per game. Now, obviously, that was the first year, and there was no expectation that ticket sales were going to stay at 3.2 million. But the attendance has dropped 43% since 2010, averaging 22,298 fans per game. Not good. Not good. Many reasons, right? Obviously, the team's performance, fan attitude about the ownership, and uncertainty as to who the ownership is going to be. Bottom line is businesses like the Rabbit Hole, which is the new sports bar, the Loon, all very concerned because foot traffic, when you got 22,000 fans, a lot of people just coming down for the game and then getting out. Rough to run a bar. A Minnesota lake is now, a stream. Lake Alice disappeared over the weekend. It's in William O'Brien State Park, northern Washington County. A dam valve failed. The dam valve. And the water drained into the St. Croix. Whoops. The real bummer is all the dead fish, algae, weeds that are all available and seen right now. A lot of dead northern pike, sunnies, bluegills, etc. DNR officials said, according to the Pioneer Press, it was a mechanical failure that led to that significant drawdown on the lake. It's only a stream. It's going to take 4 to 6 weeks to get that back up. Bummer. New York City has changed the way that reading is being taught, and they're seeing test scores rise. I bring this up because you know that this change is coming to Minnesota. There's been quite a bit of conversation about why our test scores have been down and the way that teachers are teaching reading. In New York City, public school students saw a 7-point climb in reading test scores this spring. That is a substantial increase, reports the New York Times. 56% of students in grades 3 through 8 were proficient on reading tests. Not great, but better. 2 years ago, New York City changed how elementary schools are taught to read. And part of that is this idea to look at sounding it out, vocab exercises, getting rid of guessing words on pictures. A lot of the new stuff just didn't work. Twins, let's hope tonight works for the Minnesota Twins in the Bronx. Let's go, Twins. First pitch at 6:10. Enjoy the pregame.
The following is a presentation of Odyssey Sports, presented by